Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, January the 17th. First up, Just Flight's Dove is now available. Fairly obscure and not well known, the de Havilland Dove was a short-haul airliner that also saw service in the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy, where it was named the Devon and the Sea Devon, respectively. It first flew in 1945 and was subsequently adopted by numerous military forces around the world. The Dove could carry 8 passengers or cargo at a cruising speed of 187 miles per hour with a ceiling of 27,000 feet. Just Flight's add-on covers 5 variants of the Dove, the Mark II, Mark V, Mark 8, C-20 and Royal New Zealand Air Force C-20, also 6 liveries and 3 different cockpit variations, a civilian with original avionics, a civilian with modern avionics, and the Devon military military cockpit, I don't know where helicopter came from. Just Flight claimed that the flight model has been finely tuned, and the add-on also includes an authentic sound set and PDF manual to get you going. It works with FSX and Prepared 2 and 3 and will set you back $29.99 from the Just Flight store in the show notes below. Next up, Eagle have released a red flag campaign for the F-15C. This is the first red flag campaign for the Nevada map and it's now available. 16-2 red flag campaign, as it is known, is an accurate set of red flag missions for the F-15C and includes extensive briefings, maps and lineup cards for each mission. It was actually developed in consultation with Steve Davis, the author behind the incredible Eagle Engaged book among others, and some actual F-15C pilots. The campaign includes 10 missions, custom voiceovers, and it does of course require that you have DCS World 2, which is free, the NTTR map, which is not, and the F-15C, which is also not. You can get the F-15C either standalone or in Flaming Cliffs 3. It's available right now from Eagle Dynamics at the Eagle Dynamics link in the show notes below for a paltry $9.99. But there's more! Eagle Dynamics have also said that in addition to this, they have continued working on the Nevada map. And they said that in the coming months, they will be adding in Tonopah Air Force Base, additional casinos and hotels in the Las Vegas Strip, additional airfields and landing strips to the central quite unpopulated portion of the map, and the National Training Center and various other improvements. Ominously though, Eagle have also said that these additional features may cause a price rise on the NTTR map, so if that map is something that interests you, you'll be wise to get it now before that price hike kicks in. Next up, Orbex have released Oscar 60 Cloverdale. Turbulent Designs continue to crank out super high quality airports for Orbex with the release of Cloverdale. This is a general aviation airport in Sonoma County, Northern California, and one of the bases for Zenith Aircraft Company. As always with Turbulent Designs add-ons, the scenery covers not just the airport but also a large part of the surrounding area, from Preston in the north to Asti in the south. Every Orbex release is stunning, and they all now pretty much have the same feature list, that being of course high definition ground textures and detail, Orbex object flow support, custom modeled points of interest and animated objects, seasonal textures, hand placed autogen, and of course much more. The scenery does require that you have Orbex Northern California installed, and Oscar 60 Cloverdale will set you back $24.40, supporting all versions of FSX and Prepared. More information at the full terrain link in the show notes below. Over to X-Plane now, and X-Aviation this week announced the Real Weather Connector. Now this fills a significant hole in the X-Plane market. The Real Weather Connector works with SkyMax Pro version 3 and real weather data sources, including FSGRW, X-Plane's own built-in weather system, EFAS, and more. And what it does is it passes the metadata from those data sources and accurately positions SkyMax clouds in the distance at the correct position. This is a big deal because currently clouds and weather are only drawn around your immediate position, which means that as you fly, clouds will pop in, and in extreme cases the weather in X-Plane will just suddenly and dramatically shift from one extreme to the other. Real World Connector fixes that and lets you see accurate views of the weather in the distance and smooth the transitions between one weather system and another as you fly. Although it sounds like a tiny utility, Cameron at X-Aviation has actually pointed out in his blog post that Real Weather Connector actually has more lines of code than SkyMax itself. The product is currently in beta without a firm release date, but as soon as it launches, I will of course let you know right here. More information can be found in Cameron's post at the X-Pilot link in the show notes below. Sticking with X-Plane, Shadetree Micro Aviation's Husky A1C has released. The Aviat Husky is a 2-seat high-wing light utility aircraft that was introduced to the world in the 80s. Shade Tree's version was developed with a lot of input from their own on-staff Husky owner and instructor, so they've got a bit of a personal link, I guess, to this aircraft, and as a result they are particularly proud of the flight dynamics as well as the performance modelling that they put into the engine. It has a full-featured cockpit for both VFR and IFR flight, including Becker radios, the Trio Pro Pilot autopilot system, the JPI EDM 930 engine monitor, as well as the standard X-Plane GPS, dual RMI and HSI. The model can be equipped with either Tundra tyres, floats or skis, and also has the option to add a cargo pod for those long cross-country treks. The aircraft has been optimized for high frame rates, which is key since this is an aircraft that you're likely to be flying quite low in some relatively dramatic scenery, it being a bush aircraft after all. It's available right now for X-Plane from the xplane.org store at the link in the show notes below for $24.95. And finally, still with X-Plane, RW Designs Spitfire Mark I is now available. Now, Thomas Rasmussen, another YouTuber, reached out to me about this release, and it's his video that you're watching right now. The Spitfire obviously doesn't really need an introduction. It's a legendary aircraft and an iconic World War II fighter that earned a fearsome reputation, particularly for its performance in the Battle of Britain, although the Hurricane was actually far more prevalent than the Spitfire at the time. RW Designs version features a highly detailed 3D model with 4K textures, custom lighting, accurate engine vibration, and a working reflective gun sight. It even includes 150 custom animations. I actually can't imagine where there will be 150 animated surfaces on a Spitfire, but that's very cool. More importantly of all, though, is the flight model key to this aircraft, and RW Designs claim they have a tuned and accurate flight model in place, as well as a custom sound set to replicate the iconic growl of the Merlin engine. The RW Designs Spitfire Mark I is available right now for $22.95 from the xplane.org store at the link in the show notes below. That's it for this week. As always, if I've missed something, leave me a link in the comment section below and I'll take a look and see if it's worth including in next week's show. Until then, though, my name is Frugal. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.